Hi, my name is Tim Clark, and I'm proud to serve as the President and CEO of TreeHouse. Tonight, I have the opportunity to welcome you to See Hope Grow, our very first virtual fundraising event that we are excited to get to do together. Yes, I said get to, because even though we're meeting online instead of in person, we don't see tonight's event as some sort of lesser substitute or placeholder. Instead, we are excited about tonight because by being virtual, we get to show you more of TreeHouse in action, sharing more stories of how we're serving more teens in more ways. We also hope this event reflects what's true about TreeHouse all the time, that we are dedicated to being innovative and creative in meeting teens wherever they are. I'm speaking to you from New Hope, Minnesota, standing in our very first TreeHouse site. We've been doing ministry in this place and meeting teens here since 1980. Today, this site is just one of more than 50 sites across 8 different states. Normally on a Thursday night, this room would be filled with teens. There would be 40, 50, even 60 teens here, hanging out, eating dinner together, and sharing their lives with each other. It's within these walls that teens meet for support groups, hear Bible messages and life stories, play games, and later share conversations in vans on the drive home. As you can expect, TreeHouse programs look different these days. We're going to share with you tonight more about what we've been up to, but what remains constant is our mission to end hopelessness among teens. We think the path to hope involves each teen believing what we call the TreeHouse truths. I'm lovable, capable, and worthwhile. I'm loved without strings and never alone, and I have a future. When teens are rooted in these truths and in the living hope of Jesus, it unleashes untold potential in communities everywhere. That is when we can see hope grow. We invite you into this story tonight to see hope grow as we hear from TreeHouse staff, teens, and community leaders on the new and innovative ways that we are working together in this mission. Thank you for joining. We are honored by your time and your partnership. Together, let's see hope grow tonight.
Thank you so much, Tim, for kicking us off. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to See Hope Grow. My name is Andy Swanda. I've been with TreeHouse for 9 years. I currently serve as the Vice President of Development.
And my name is Michelle Livingston, and I've been a part of the TreeHouse family for 12 years. I started out as a volunteer and fell in love with the teens and the mission of TreeHouse so much that it became my life's work. I've been on staff for 10 years now and currently serve as the area director for the Edina TreeHouse. I love to tell people about TreeHouse because TreeHouse personally changed my life, so I'm so very excited to be here with you all tonight to share other stories of life transformation. As you'll hear throughout the hour, our goal tonight is to see hope grow.
We have people joining us from all over tonight, watching both via Facebook and the Mobile Cause website, and we want to hear from you. If you have any questions at any point, please post a comment on Facebook. We will have team members answering your questions throughout the night. And talk to each other. Let's build community together. For those of you who are new, but also as a reminder for all of us, let's take a minute to say what TreeHouse is all about. At TreeHouse, we love teens and believe they are a vital part of our communities. But hopelessness is becoming a defining story for this generation, breaking down both teens and communities. So we're on a mission to end hopelessness among teens.
Yes.
We do this through grace-based programs and environments where teens learn to know a loving God, build resiliency, develop healthy relationships, and plan for the future. We offer mentorships, retreats, and activities where teens have the opportunity to build deep relationships with peers and caring adults. Our vision is for every teen to be rooted in living hope, unleashing untold potential in communities everywhere. And we partner with community members like you who believe that no teen is a lost cause.
That's right, Andy. That's what we do every day. But we are living in a unique time right now. We're learning that this time of social isolation is uniquely affecting our teens and leading to hopelessness in new ways. As you can imagine, our kids are feeling more anxious, depressed, and nervous about their futures. TreeHouse is needed now more than ever because of the current unknowns and the added stress on the teens. Knowing how great the need is and how relevant TreeHouse is right now can sometimes feel overwhelming for us as staff, volunteers, and donors. But the good news is it's not all on us. We get to partner with a God who thrives when the odds are stacked against us. And with your help and God on our side, we stand in expectations as we watch him show up in the lives of our teens during this difficult season.
So that is so encouraging, Michelle, because of course this time has had its challenges, but we've also seen unbelievable things happen in this season.
Yes, we have.
We pivoted our programming nearly overnight. As soon as schools were ordered to close, TreeHouse was serving teens virtually. We've seen a lot of beauty come out of that quick adaptation. We're really excited for how being proactive now will help us keep our momentum when we meet in person again.
So let's get back to what we're up to tonight. Like we said, we're excited for this event to be virtual. You're going to hear from multiple people from multiple TreeHouse sites. And being virtual also means that our teens can be with us tonight. Usually at our fundraising events, we are unable to have a lot of teens in the room. But tonight, we know you guys are out there. We see you teens and we love you. We're going to have 3 different segments to our evening. In the first segment, More Than Ever, we will invite you to see what we're doing today to creatively meet, connect, and serve the teens in the current environment. The second segment, We're Still Here, will showcase the ways that we are still showing up for our teens and positioning them towards hope. And in our final segment, We Are Growing, we are excited to share how we are positioned to grow during this time.
From my standpoint, we've seen a lot of incredible generosity in the midst of this hard time. There have been unbelievably generous donations, and we're hearing from people nationwide asking what they can do to help, and that includes tonight. I want to give a big thank you to our 2 presenting sponsors, Minnesota Bank and Trust and Tradition Capital Bank. Their outstanding generosity and support of TreeHouse is an ongoing gift to us. We're hoping that tonight is a continuation of this kind of generosity. We have an ambitious goal of raising $250,000 in the next hour. We think this is possible, but we're asking each one of you to be open to how you can be a part of reaching this goal together.
That's right. We couldn't do this without the support of our donors. So we are asking you to be a part of Seeing Hope Grow by making a donation tonight. You can do that in a couple different ways. First, if you're watching on the Mobile Cause event page, just scroll down to the Donate section. You can also pull out your mobile phone and text TreeHouse to 91999. That's TreeHouse to 91999. You'll immediately get a text response with a link to donate directly. Those are the 2 best ways to give so that your donation is counted among tonight's total. But of course, if you'd like to send a check, you can find our mailing address and other donation platforms on our website at treehousehope.org.
So with that, let's move on with the night.
To be honest, I kind of had to work on that because I like being around people a lot. But like now, this year, 10th grade.
To help you see into the life of Virtual TreeHouse, we want you to hear from 2 of our awesome staff. They will share what our programs look like, how we're keeping teens engaged, and how we're overcoming some of the challenges that meeting virtually creates.
Yes, and to do this, we are so grateful that Sarah Fink and Ku Her are joining us to share their insights. Sarah is the area director of our Eagan TreeHouse, and she will be painting a picture into the life of Virtual TreeHouse and all the activities and the connection points we have going on throughout the week. Afterwards, program manager Ku Her from our New Hope site, shout out to New Hope, will share about his experience connecting with our teen guys right now. Let's check it out.
2 months ago, we had never heard about Virtual TreeHouse, and now it's something that we can't even imagine our lives without. Without things to do or places to go, many of our teens are in their heads all day long. One of the most important things that we can be doing right now is giving teens spaces to laugh, to be together, just to get out of their own thoughts. So we're doing things like playing games online, doing lip sync battles, signing into a video chat together to do homework. We've also been hosting a ton of contests. So some are focused on fun, like a costume contest, but we're also promoting healthy challenges, like tracking points when teens do their homework or when they go on a walk. I want to give you a glimpse into some of the fun ways we've been connecting. This little video represents just the very first week of virtual TreeHouse. You are lovable. It's hard. It's really good to see your faces.
But I'm happy because now we get to do virtual TreeHouse online where I can still talk to somebody.
Like the video says, no teen walks alone. Yes, we are having so much fun together, but we're also creating spaces where teens can talk about the hard stuff. Support group is a cornerstone of TreeHouse. It always starts with each teen sharing a rating of their week and then what emotions that they felt throughout the week. It is so important for our teens to share about what the feelings are that's going through their minds so that we can walk alongside them whenever any feeling of hopelessness creeps in. This hasn't changed since virtual TreeHouse started. They might not be sitting on a couch together in their physical tree houses, but they're still supporting each other. I want to show you a little bit of what support group has looked like during this.
I would probably rate my week of 5. Oh, my name is Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia. I would probably rate my week of 5.1, and I've been feeling alone, anxious, somewhat overwhelmed, hurt. I think that's it. Yeah.
Would you like some time?
Yeah, sure. If there is time.
Oh, there will be time. Sweet.
That's just one of the many support groups happening across the country. And we have been so blown away as we see so much resiliency in these teens. They are determined not to give up and instead are trying to focus on making positive choices. And as TreeHouse staff, we are so proud of them. We're excited to step into places of hopelessness that are trying to take root and instead offer hope.
Virtual TreeHouse has been fun and challenging all at the same time. It's been fun engaging them in a whole nother way, being innovative, getting on social gaming platforms like Twitch and signing on, trying to engage and have a conversation with them while they are playing games and theory crafting and gaming. And it just takes virtual mentoring to a whole nother level in that. It also has been challenging where there are guys that, just won't respond or withdrawing during this time, or it's so easy to, before this, hoop with these guys and have meaningful, deep conversations with them in the van rides. They just don't respond to any texts or FaceTime at all. And so it's been interesting being in this place, learning to be innovative and being challenged all at the same time. But learning to also be persistent and letting them know they matter regardless if you hear a response or not in this time. And so it's been cool to let them know that, hey, they still matter, regardless how they react to that or whatnot. And also not to project my fears. I think being on this journey, not to project my fears to them in that way where I meet them genuinely in their space, just to hear them where they're at, and not to take them into my space. And so I think that's one thing that I've learned definitely during this time. But at TreeHouse, we just hope that every teen can learn that there's hope even in times like this, but also that they are lovable, capable, and worthwhile. And I really feel that in this time, pursuing them to not let them just hear it from us, but for them to feel it as well as we keep on pursuing them, and then letting them be able to live in that space and process things out.
Thank you so much, Sarah and Koo. I know how hard you guys are both working, and your big hearts inspire all of us.
And thank you to everyone who has donated so far.
Next, I want to introduce you to someone who is near and dear to my heart. Her name is Naya, and I've been mentoring her for the last 6 years. I have personally witnessed how God's love single-handedly brought this girl back from the brink of death. Naya is a beautiful example of how God uses TreeHouse to restore hope to the hopeless. Listen as Naya shares her story in her own words in a brief video. Afterwards, we'll hear from Kara Levin's Julie Nelson, talk a little bit about her involvement with TreeHouse and what this organization means to her.
When I wake up, I feel helpless a lot of the time. It's hard for me to get out of bed sometimes. I worry about how I'll make it through the day. Depression, honestly. Sometimes it can lead to substance abuse, sometimes it can lead to self-harm. Even now, it's like if something goes wrong, like my first instinct is to like cut, you know, and it's a hard habit to break. The first time I came to TreeHouse, it was the time that I first felt loved, first felt safe, first felt at home. They were loving me when I was ashamed of like what I was doing. And it's really like the most amazing thing ever to have people like that that love you regardless of what you're doing, and even love you even harder when you're going through it.
Hey, all right, Tree what? TreeHouse! Tree what? TreeHouse! Tree what? TreeHouse! All right, welcome to TreeHouse. We're so happy to have you. TreeHouse is a place where kids come who are struggling in their life with various issues. We're just loving the kids and being a friend. And, you know, fortunately, oftentimes that's what people need. The Naya that I know now is just confident, more confident in who she is. She's so encouraging to people. Every kid that comes here finds a friend in Naya. Oh, it's your birthday! You're easy to love. It's easy. It's easy. I do feel hopeful. Hopeful for the future. Hopeful for the next generation of TreeHouse kids. Hopeful for myself, you know? TreeHouse is family. TreeHouse is love. TreeHouse is home. TreeHouse is my life. TreeHouse is my life.
Isn't she something? I've had the opportunity to meet Naya, and she is truly inspirational. Her message that TreeHouse is the first place where she felt loved, her first time really experiencing what family meant, is why I love TreeHouse. I have seen firsthand in countless teens the powerful impact TreeHouse has on their lives. And it is why I've been a board member at TreeHouse for nearly 10 years. You know, working in news, I hear about a lot of worthwhile organizations that help kids. But TreeHouse is unique. The relationship that TreeHouse staff builds with these teens is honest and true and long-lasting, and the teens know it. It is that relationship and that unconditional love that helps pull teens out of hopelessness. TreeHouse doesn't just build relationships with teens, however, it also helps build communities. And that's where we can all be a part of this story. So I'm going to ask you to listen tonight with open minds and open hearts and consider how you can find your place in this story. TreeHouse is not slowing down in serving teens, and neither can we. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And together, we can make sure hope grows.
Julie, thank you so much for being part of tonight and sharing your gifts with us. We are so grateful for you and your support of TreeHouse. As you've heard so far, in the wake of COVID-19, TreeHouse is showing up for teens and the unique needs coming out of this season. We continue to show up to mentor, host support groups, and have fun when our teens are in the throes of uncertainty. And because we didn't lose any time in launching Virtual TreeHouse, we've had parents, pastors, and social workers refer new teens to us. Here in the Twin Cities alone, more than 40 new teens have connected to TreeHouse for the very first time since we went virtual. We know of organizations that unfortunately had to pause or decrease their programming during this hard time, but TreeHouse hasn't missed a single day.
And we need your support to continue innovating and serving. Here's how your donation can make a difference. $300 supports 10 mentoring sessions for teens each week. $500 gives 20 teens access to weekly support groups like the one Sarah talked about. $750 supports one weekly multi-site event like dance contests and worship nights. Some of those were featured in the video Sarah shared, and it's been game-changing. For the first time, we have teens and staff coming together from different sites across the country virtually, and we are eager to apply what we're learning from these events to the future of TreeHouse. And lastly, a gift of $2,000 supports one staff member's touchpoints with 50 teens for 1 week.
To donate and support us in these efforts to creatively meet teens where they're at right now, you can donate right from the Mobile Cause event page or text TreeHouse to 91999. Those are the two best ways, so your total is counted tonight. Again, you can give right on the Mobile Cause site if you're watching here, or you can text TreeHouse to 91999 and you'll get a prompt to a giving interface. Thank you to all who have donated so far. We are so grateful for your generosity and partnership. Now, stay tuned for this next segment as there are more stories to come.
Online school has probably been the hardest.
Something that's been hard is probably online homework.
And I never got to hug you guys, and that just made me really sad.
Teens are the heartbeat of TreeHouse. We love these teens, and for the next 15 minutes, we're going to share how we are still here for them. Not even a pandemic is going to keep us from showing up for our teens.
And we thank you for showing up for us tonight. A huge thank you to all who have donated. Coming into this evening, we've raised, drum roll please, $180,000. Thank you guys so much. That goes to funding weekly virtual support groups at all of our sites where teens can connect and continue those deep relationships during this time of isolation and beyond when we're back in person.
Thank you for your generosity tonight. Up next, we're really excited to introduce you to Jess Vanderlinden, one of our team members of our Brooklyn Park site and one of the teens she mentors, Trina. Trina is going to share with you what this time of quarantine looks like for her and the role TreeHouse has played.
As a mentor, it is such a privilege to support teens during this time. Social isolation has been really hard for a lot of them, but we've also seen some really beautiful growth in this time too. And one of the teens that comes to mind is Trina. She's been coming to TreeHouse for about a year, and in that time I've been able to mentor her. Trina truly has grit, drive, and determination. And even during this time, I've seen her seek out opportunities to stretch herself and to learn new skills. We're really excited for you to hear her story.
I started coming to TreeHouse a little over a year ago. I have 10 siblings and I live with 3 of them and my mom. I'm the oldest in the house most days. My older sister, who is away at college, is my biggest motivator. My mom is still working during quarantine. so I have to take care of a lot of things around the house. I make sure I do my chores, I make sure my siblings do their chores, and I help them with their homework. It is very stressful while my mom is at work. I know way before I started coming to TreeHouse, I was really insecure and cared too much about what people thought of me. I wanted to be liked by everyone, and I had really bad social anxiety and had a hard time making friends. Also, I really sucked at talking about my feelings. TreeHouse has become a safe place where I can be myself. I feel like I can talk to anyone, and I've never been in a community like that. I've also been introduced to many things through TreeHouse. I've never ridden a bike before, and when we were on a trip last summer, that was one of the activities Jess and I signed up for. Jess and I ended up walking the trail with our bikes the whole time, but it was still a first for me. We made it fun, and we had a great conversation. TreeHouse has been very helpful during quarantine with having games, talks about how to take care of yourself, and support group. When people tell me in support group that they will see me soon, it gives me hope that this isn't forever. We are all just being here for each other in this very difficult time. TreeHouse's message is to help teens who are not hopeful be hopeful. TreeHouse has helped hope grow within me. And hope feels so good inside. It's such a warm feeling. It's so hard for me to have hopeless thoughts because my mind is literally trying to tell me that it's not true. Literally, I would think a hopeless thought, my mind would tell me, "Shut up, Trina, that's not true." That's something TreeHouse has really taught me. Recently, many exciting things have happened to me. I got into PSEO at North Hennepin Community College for my junior and senior year. The day before that, I got an award called 100 High School Students That America Needs to Know About. Teachers were congratulating me. I was smiling so hard that my cheekbone hurt. I didn't know what to say. I was just speechless. This was such a shocker to me. I'm really grateful for my mentor and the community I have at TreeHouse. I know I have a future, and when I think about it, I hope someday I can work at a place like TreeHouse, where lives are changed.
I am so inspired by TreeHouse teens like Trina, and I just really can't wait to see what they do with their future and the great things that are in store for them. This is a really confusing and scary time for teenagers. As a mom of a junior and a senior in high school, I'm witnessing all of this firsthand. As you well know, there's so much that's being taken away from them, from prom to graduation. Even the small things, just like passing their friends in the hallway or getting together with a group of their friends to go out for pizza. They are missing all of these moments and they feel it acutely. Now they're required to stay home and navigate the family dynamic, whatever that may be, 24/7. I have always believed in TreeHouse. I've always believed in its mission. But right now, in the midst of this pandemic, I truly believe it is more important than ever. TreeHouse did a survey of teens and found that 3 out of 4 are feeling more anxious since this social isolation began. But for all teens, TreeHouse is still here. And coming up next, we'll share a video that shows you how TreeHouse is still here for every teen.
I said it was good to see you guys, and it's not really fun to not actually see you guys in person.
I know, it's hard. It's really good to see your faces.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book?
The Hunger Games, because I just finished it.
What is your biggest irrational fear?
That no one is ever capable of loving me.
I'm Cameron. I've been part of TreeHouse since 6th grade, so I've been part of it for a huge chunk of my life. TreeHouse really impacted me spiritually. It changed my life. It helped me get comfortable with being in a community that's just full of joy and it's full of mixed emotions, and it taught me how to handle those really well with other teens and just even outside of TreeHouse. I stopped going to TreeHouse for 3 years, and I came back my last year. So That was last year, and there was a staff there. We've always had a connection, and when I came back, we just had that connection. We were just really close. I would call him up all the time, you know, talk with him, always hang out with him. We would just laugh with each other. We would talk about, you know, the Bible a lot.
You know, Jimmy, that's my dog right there. Yeah, he's been there through for me.
Come on, it's good. It's good to cry.
Let the emotions out.
All right, Cam. Cam, I'm only gonna do this once.
If I didn't come back to TreeHouse, you know, I wouldn't know God. I wouldn't have any hope for my future. I wouldn't know where I would be right now.
We've been involved with the Bloomington TreeHouse for the last couple of years, and one of the kids that has come very special and dear to our hearts is Cameron, and just an awesome young man, and the opportunity of pouring life into him and seeing different things come out of him that you just don't see unless you're walking with somebody.
We've watched him go from kid to man, and he's always ready to give of himself. He's got such a compassionate sincerity about him. He hurts when people hurt. He just loves.
On a day-to-day basis, I do talk with the TreeHouse boys, you know, just to check up on them, or like if they're going through something that I see on like social media, I'll just text them and I'll ask if they're doing okay, or do you need to talk to somebody? Just want them to know that even through this whole crisis that's going on, they still have somebody to talk to if they need some support.
I'm doing review though for today, so I'm going to be reading John chapter 8. It's a story about
What's up, man? How we doing?
religious people.
We are still here. What a great story of mentorship coming full circle. I love that Cam is also taking on that mentality of I'm still here as an alumni and continuing his involvement with TreeHouse. It's so encouraging to see the difference that having community makes in a teen's life.
Definitely.
And that it can start with just one person, a mentor or volunteer speaking truth into teens' lives to open the doors for hope to grow.
Yeah, so Andy, like you said, it's transformational. It's all about speaking truth and being consistent and steady in a teen's life. I know Heidi Hall, the area director from Matamidi, also has a great story about a volunteer at her site. Let's hear what she has to say.
I know I couldn't be as effective at my work at TreeHouse without the help of volunteers. I want to tell you about one volunteer who inspires me. His name is Tom. Tom has been a steady presence at our Matamidi site for the last 4 years. His consistent involvement, patience, and authenticity, even when it was really hard, have made a huge impact on our teens, staff, and other volunteers. One of our girls began using a phrase that we now say a lot around here, good old Tom. It's a great way to describe him because he's truly up for anything and everything to love our teens well. And this time of social isolation hasn't slowed him down. Right now, that's everything from leading weekly devotions on Instagram to entering a dance competition on the TikTok app. We've had calls, check-ins, or activities. Tom hasn't missed a single one. That kind of consistency makes all the difference. I want to take this moment to thank Tom, but I also know that Tom is only one of many volunteers at sites all over the country. Thank you to all our volunteers. You allow us to invest in more teens and share more hope every day.
Wow. Thank you, Heidi, and thank you, Tom. What a testament to the power of volunteers. I would like to echo what Heidi said and say thank you to all of the volunteers who
thank
support
you.
TreeHouse. Your involvement helps teens, and it also helps TreeHouse staff by adding capacity. We can work together to plan, serve, and love teens well.
Yes, we can. We'd love to have more of you in this with us. So in addition to asking for your financial support tonight, we would love to invite you to volunteer. You've heard from volunteers like Tom, who attend program and support groups. Another example is volunteering as a TreeHouse Next coach. Coaches come alongside our teens to help them finish high school and make plans for after graduation. And we need more TreeHouse Next coaches. You can find out about that and other volunteer opportunities on our website at treehousehope.org.
And if you can't volunteer at this time, but are interested in supporting TreeHouse Next, a donation of $1,000 supports 3 months of TreeHouse Next programming and personal coaching for one teen. But you can support TreeHouse Next at any level. Both volunteers and donors are pivotal to our work at TreeHouse. The mission to end hopelessness among teens, it's not something we can do without generous partners like you. Michelle, I liked what you said earlier tonight, that we get to partner with God to end hopelessness. That's so true. We can't go at this alone.
No, you're right, Andy. We can't. It is a God-sized task that's bigger than anything TreeHouse can do on its own. We can't rely on our own talents to make it happen, but we can ask God what role we can play in His story here at TreeHouse. That's a question we're asking ourselves right now, and that's a question we invite you to ask yourselves too. What role can you play? How can you partner with God and with TreeHouse to end hopelessness among teens during this season? Is it volunteering? Is it donating? Is it praying?
If you feel like the role you can play in the mission to end hopelessness among teens is through providing financial support, you can make a donation through texting TreeHouse to 91999, where you'll receive a prompt to a giving link. Or, if you're watching on Mobile Cause, you can donate right from the event page. We'd like to extend a sincere thank you to those who have partnered with us so far. Your financial support is going towards seeing hope grow in more teens in more ways.
We're so grateful for all the support we've received tonight. For the next 15 minutes, we're going to talk about growth. TreeHouse leaders are going to share stories of how TreeHouse is not shrinking back right now, but is actually growing in this season. We've heard from a lot of important people so far, but not yet from an NBA player. Our teens got a treat recently when Anthony Tulliver from the Memphis Grizzlies stopped by for a virtual visit. Anthony is a longtime friend of Jimmy Austin from our Bloomington TreeHouse, and he joined one of Jimmy's YouTube live stream events for a Q&A session. He took questions from our teens, and we want to share with you what he said about the power of mentorship. Take a look and hear from our friend Julie Nelson again.
It's funny because mentorship to me is something that I didn't have enough of growing up, and I wish I would have had more to kind of guide me into, not making some of the mistakes I did. Which I was still very blessed with such an awesome, 2 awesome older sisters and my mom who was amazing to kind of guide me through life. Really, had a great relationship with my dad as well. Just didn't live with him, so it's, looking back now, but now I'm like, I feel like there's like a need for me to be that person for, people, right? So for somebody or more than one person over time, I feel like that was something that I could have really used. So, everybody here at TreeHouse, all you students out there, I know some of you guys have some really hard lives and some really crazy circumstances in your lives. So first of all, be encouraged. Know that, God has your back, and know that there's a lot of people who love you. And there's a lot of people who at TreeHouse and other places that have your back and that are going to stand up for you. So having them as mentors is invaluable. So take advantage of it for as long as you can. Help them help you.
I loved what Anthony said about mentorship. And as more teens are joining our sites right now, we need more mentors. And that's why we're thinking now about the future. We truly believe this is a great time to serve as a launch pad for the expansion of TreeHouse. And I get to introduce 2 great voices on this topic. First, you'll hear from one of our area TreeHouse directors, Renee Natsky. And then we're going to share a video of growth voiced by our Vice President of the Partner Network, Kevin Ward. He'll talk about why now is a great time for us to be growing nationally.
This entire COVID-19 situation has been really challenging to navigate, but we've also learned things that will make us stronger going forward. We want to build on those things. I wanted to take a couple minutes to reflect on just two of the silver linings. One, we're integrating more teen voices into our programming than ever before. Two, we're seeing a deep resiliency breaking forth. First, being virtual is leading to so much creativity, and many ideas are coming forward for the first time from teens because we're needing to have more inputs in how we plan, serve, and connect. And we're finding that our teens are so excited to be involved in that. Many of the examples of creativity you've seen tonight have come from conversations we had with our student leaders. Going forward, we know we want to do more to harness teens' creativity. What we're doing now to get more teen voices involved in our planning, we'll do that forever. Second, we're also seeing that the gravity of this situation is breeding a deep resiliency. This is a collective traumatic experience that everyone is going through. We're going to be processing this out with our teens for years, and we will be able to build from the momentum we gained during this season of walking alongside them through it. We will be able to point back to this time and tell them that because they got through this, they can get through another difficult time. They have it in them. They have the strength to do it. Because we're still here for them right now, we are positioned for even stronger relationships in the future. Through it all, the main message that we're trying to get across to teens at this time is that even this situation is not a hopeless one. We are not in a hopeless situation. We're with you to work through it, and that's never going to change. Thank you to all of you who have viewed and donated tonight for being part of sharing that message with our teens today and every day moving forward. This next video captures our vision of building for the future.
This is a story about more. The more that is hidden, the more that is possible. In every community, there are teens with hidden stories. Stories that are buried beneath the surface. Insecurities and internal struggles. Lies people have told these teens. Lies teens have told themselves. I'm stupid. I'm a burden. I'm worthless. What we end up seeing are the signs of their pain. Depression, harmful behaviors, destructive patterns. We may even see the systemic injustices working against them. But too often, these struggles are the things that tempt us to count them out. Meanwhile, their hopelessness grows. Hopelessness is becoming a defining story for this generation. And this kind of hopelessness compounds over time, breaking down teens, breaking down our communities. Which is why we are motivated by the more that is possible. At TreeHouse, we believe no circumstance is a dead end, and no teen can be counted out. Because hope, living hope, it's a game changer. Ending hopelessness is not a quick fix, but it is possible. It takes safe, grace-based environments where teens can process their struggles. It takes healthy relationships and committed mentors. It takes invested communities. Hope grows as teens learn about a loving God. It's built as they make plans for the future. Hope takes root when teens know, truly know, they are lovable, capable, and worthwhile. This is the work TreeHouse has specialized in since 1979. Over that time, we've seen the transformative power of hope for thousands of teens. And it's time to create more of this together. TreeHouse is on a mission to end hopelessness among teens. To end hopelessness. This is a mission about teens, but it's also a mission about all of us. Because the only way to end hopelessness is together. Teens need communities that see them, that create safe places for them to belong. And communities need teens who know they have value to add, who care about their future, who seek to give more than they take more. We are motivated by this kind of more. More teams, more communities, more hope. Because hope compounds over time. And as it does, it unleashes untold potential for all of us. Hope does compound over time. We've witnessed that compounding effect this past year. In the past year, hope grew from 25 TreeHouse communities to more than 50 across the nation, from 5 states to 8 states. That compounding effect has allowed us to serve more than 3,500 teens. Now hope is growing from North Minneapolis to West St. Paul, from Waterloo, Iowa to St. Cloud, Minnesota, from Bolingbrook, Illinois to Watertown, South Dakota, from Levittown, Pennsylvania to Barnegat, New Jersey. Hope grew because churches, schools, and nonprofits across the nation decided that they too wanted to end hopelessness among teens. Hope not only grew in the number of communities and states we serve, but who we serve. As a result of the compounding effect, we have become much more diverse. We serve the Asian Hmong community, Latino community, and the African American community, and many more. A little over 6 weeks ago, hope was threatened by the onset of COVID-19. It had the potential to stop hope from growing. However, we were not going to allow that to happen. We sped up our efforts to engage teens virtually. Most of our TreeHouse communities went virtual immediately with no downtime. We were determined to see hope grow. Despite COVID's impact, Grand Marais in northern Minnesota said they wanted to see hope grow in their community. And so did New Albany in Indiana. They too wanted to see hope grow. Teens need us now more than ever. We must continue to spread hope. That compounding effect happens when communities come together. If you want to join us and see hope grow in your community, let us know. You can go to our website at www.treehousehope.org, follow us on social media, or give us a call. Join us in seeing the compounding effect of hope growing.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support and your prayers.
Thank you so much, TreeHouse.
I'm thankful.
Thank you for your support.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you, TreeHouse.
Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you for all your support.
Thank you for all the support.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Kevin Ward, thank you. Thank you for sharing your talent, passion, and your voice to further the mission of TreeHouse. As Kevin mentioned, we are growing at this time. We are serving more teens, adding more sites, and seeing more hope grow. We rely on passionate community members to lead the charge of bringing TreeHouse to your neighborhoods and communities. Through the TreeHouse Partner Network, we provide the resources you need to get started. So Michelle, you're in the process of launching a TreeHouse site right now.
Yes,
How's that going?
It's going wonderful. You know, during my time at TreeHouse, I've watched us launch multiple sites, but never in the middle of a pandemic. However, one could argue that there's never been a better time in TreeHouse's history to launch a new site because the need for our services has never been greater. The interest level, the receptivity from the school district, community members, small business owners, and teens has been absolutely incredible.
That's great.
We have new teens coming to TreeHouse every week. In fact, I was just a part of a support group a few weeks ago that had a teen join us all the way from California. So yes, folks, in the middle of a pandemic, TreeHouse is growing. And your donations are making that possible. We're about to wrap up our fundraiser for the night, so if you've not given yet, please do so now. You can donate right from the Mobile Cause event page if you're watching there, or text TreeHouse to 91999, where you will receive a text response with a link to give. Andy, how close are we to reaching our fundraising goal?
All right, I've been waiting for you to ask.
All right, let's hear it.
I've got good news to share.
Okay.
All right, do you want it?
Yes,
all right.
I want it.
So I'm excited to share that we have exceeded our goal for this evening. And here's the truth. As of right now, we've raised over $402,000.
Wow.
Tonight we had over 500 viewers, and we had over 550 donors that specifically supported tonight's event.
Wow.
Thank you for all of those who watched and participated on Mobile Cause and Facebook. We are grateful.
Yes.
And a special thank you once again to our presenting sponsors, Minnesota Bank and Trust, And Tradition Capital Bank, your support is a blessing. Your generosity allows us to keep multiplying hope at this time. We're going to see so much hope grow in so many communities because of your generosity. If you haven't given yet, but would still like to, every gift matters and helps motivate and develop teens. Because of all of you, we are able to serve more teens and are in an even stronger position to keep seeing hope grow. We love teens.
Yes.
We want to be there for every single one who needs to know they are lovable, capable, and worthwhile.
Yes, it really takes a village, and you guys have proven the power of community tonight. I am more motivated than ever to continue our mission to end hopelessness among teens. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for the community and engagement we've seen on Facebook. To each and every one of you, thank you for helping us see hope grow. Back to you, Tim.
Tonight you have seen and heard the power of hope to transform lives. Society has changed drastically in the last couple months. All of us are definitely tempted to feel hopeless at times, but we can't let it take root. Not in ourselves or our families, not in our teens, not in our communities. So together, this is a serious societal push to end hopelessness together. And we mean we have to do this together. I'm asking you to stay engaged with us. Please keep praying. Please keep connecting us with communities that need a TreeHouse and connecting teens and families to TreeHouse. When our physical sites are open again, we need you to provide meals and rides and volunteer to mentor or academically coach our teens. We need your financial support. We need you to build awareness for TreeHouse in your community. We need you to keep loving teens alongside of us. We need to work together to end hopelessness among teens. We talk a lot about wanting our teens to be rooted in living hope. That living hope is found only in Jesus and His love. I am so proud of how hard the TreeHouse team and volunteers are working in the midst of such challenges right now. But we all know it's only by the grace of God that lives are transformed. It is a privilege to help lead this organization, and it is a privilege to do it alongside a community of partners like you. Thank you. Together, we will see hope grow.